Everyone, and welcome to another video. Time for another game in the city of London, my hometown. As we see, we've got a perfect score on here before, so why don't we hit play, give ourselves a bit of a time limit and keep things moving. I'll usually go for 3.5 minutes, don't I? So why don't instead we say let's go for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And I'm tempted, you know what? Let's go for it. Instead, actually, I'll reduce that further. Let's make it more of a challenge. 2 minutes, no moving around. Start the game and see how we do. Okay, so I think this means I can rotate. Yes, it does. But it means that I can't click on anything and go down there. So that is where we are stuck. Right. Now, what do we have here? We've got a north-south road. And we've got a sign here that says Queen something or other by this building, and if we look here we can see the Burlington car park. Okay, so I think I know where we are. We are near the Burlington Arcade, which is in the centre of London, just off of Piccadilly, and not too far actually from Savile Row and streets similar to that. Now I just have to get my bearings. This is Piccadilly, which is a very famous street between Piccadilly Circus and the Hyde Park corner, and I think we've only got a minute left. The Burlington Arcade is off here, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not 100% sure. This is, I think, where we are. I believe the Burlington Arcade is this route here, where you can see there's a lot of shops, and I think we're going to be on here. So the road actually runs north-south, which doesn't help. So we need to go maybe by the odd office. This is looking south towards the Burlington Arcade. I think that's probably the building there, and the Burlington car park is in the easterly side of things. So are we perhaps on Old Burlington Street? Yes, we are. There is the Q Park. We're going to be about here, and looking south we can see this building here, which is really sort of a front facade of the arcade, which runs through it actually. So look, I think that's right. Here we go. I'm talking it up. Let's just go for the guess and look at that, just 2 meters away. So I did know where I was. Won't be lucky through all of these rounds. Please don't expect the same. Right. Okay. This is definitely the City of London, and where are we? We're by Spaces. This is basically like a WeWork type facility. And yes, there's this funny glass centre here. I think I do recognise this, but it's not a particularly well-known place. Definitely some big skyscrapers behind. So let's get in there and figure this one out. Quite a narrow street, actually, as all these places sometimes are. And look, we're looking up at some of the big skyscrapers, which are around here actually, really, aren't they? So we need to go for, now, where are we? You know, some of the big skyscrapers are up around there. St Mary's Axe is in the background there. I think we're sort of looking in that direction. So, you know, an initial guess is going to be somewhere here. What does this say? There is actually a sign there. Minster Court. That helps a little bit, doesn't it? Are we down by this place here? I think we might be. That is the walkie... Oh no, maybe not. That's the walkie-talkie building. Minster Court. I don't recognise exactly where it is, but it should be close by. Fenchurch Street Tube Station. Not 100% sure, and we are running out of time. There's a funny, shaped building, really, isn't it, that we're looking at. I just haven't quite got my bearings with the street, unfortunately. So I'm gonna just leave my guess where it is, but it isn't correct. We're going to be close by. I know I'm in the right neck of the woods there. That's right, just a couple blocks away. That's a shame. So look, we were on Mincing Lane, and there's Minster Court. So just missed that. I probably scrolled right over it, in fact. So if you did see that and was screaming, there you go. That is actually what I was looking for. That is the they sort of cut out with the glass roof over it from the building that you could see there. So let's play the next round and see if we can improve on that. Definitely enjoying the restricted movement. Actually, that's quite interesting. I think we're very close to where we just started. You know, Horsa and Worth. This I say that because it's the same sort of road layout as before. We can look north here and south again, and I think we're just a couple blocks away from where we started. So that's a bit strange, but anyway, what are the chances? Let's get back in there and just see if we can't triangulate a few of these buildings. When I say where we just started, sorry, what I'm meaning is by the Burlington Arcade. I've lost my train of thought for a second. Where are we? We're looking for Piccadilly Circus again, and the Burlington Arcade, which was in here, wasn't it? That's right, yes. And so we found the Burlington Arcade, which is where we were before, and we were on Old Burlington Street by the Q Park in the first round. I think we're just a couple of streets over, possibly here on Cork Street, and I'm only going by the architecture being the same, and so we need to know some businesses, don't we? So Hauser and Worth. This is a restaurant or something, but quite hard to tell. Hauser and Worth. And then to the north, nope, can't tell. Ralph Lauren Polo, yes, okay. And the Araki, okay. So on Bond Street, we've got Ralph Lauren Polo. That's this store here. So I think we're going to be here. You know, I've only got 20 seconds left. Which way is Ralph Lauren? Ralph Lauren is to the northeast. So are we southeast of Ralph Lauren? That would put us here on Old Bond Street. Not sure about that. We've got a Reese store as well opposite it. Possibly here then. Possibly on this street. Ooh, not quite. Not quite. A few blocks away. Didn't know that, actually, if I'm honest with you. There's the Araki, which we see now. There's obviously a second Ralph Lauren store, which was a bit of a red herring for me, actually. And if I'm honest, the street direction I think I got confused with as well, because that isn't right, at least not according to me. There is the Reese store. So was it this that was meant to be a Ralph Lauren? Possibly not anymore. So maybe the business has changed, but the image has not. So next round. We were in the right neck of the woods, though. I knew I recognised that. This is an interesting sculpture. I don't recognise it immediately, to be honest. So not 100% sure where we are. Of course, if you knew that sculpture, you would be able just to pin yourself down immediately. I'm not so familiar. This to me has a vibe of sort of not the city, but central-ish London and Chelsea, although that confirms otherwise. EC, so sort of East Centre, I think that stands for. EC means that we're basically in the city. So not sure. The Christian Bookshop. I've never been here before, and do not know where I am. So what else can we go by in the time that we have? If we look at the bollards, you can tell usually by the bollards whether you are in the City of London or not. These are shiny new modern ones, but if we look at the one in the distance here, it's black. I can't actually tell if that's got a red top or not. I think it does, but that's possibly the car, the tail light of the car behind it. I actually don't think we're in the City of London here, because the city then would have these bollards, would be black with the white and red tops. I can't make out what that says. Something Ave Maria Lane. Ave Maria Lane. Okay. Well, look, I think then EC4 is what it says, so I'm not 100% sure on what sort of side of exactly where EC4 sort of starts and finishes, but why don't we put a safety pin down there and just see if there's anything else that takes our fancy. I'm just going to spend the next 20 seconds looking for Ave Maria Lane, and if we can't see it, which I don't think we're going to be able to, it's quite a small street and not all the street names are up here, then we will just have to find out. Nope, I can't see it, I'm afraid. 3 seconds to go. I'm not going to change my guess now. Where were we? Oh, okay. Not as far east as I even thought then. So we were by St Paul's Cathedral. And actually this whole area around here, around Paternoster Lane and so on, has been completely redeveloped. And so, yes, that's right. Yeah, we've got this complex of buildings here is brand new. Actually, it's behind St Paul's and is a shopping a shopping location along with businesses obviously upstairs and a bunch of fancy restaurants and so on, which is it's quite a nice area actually. So look, Ave Maria Lane, there we go, just off Ludgate Hill. Well, I didn't recognise that, and we were a bit hemmed in here by the structure of this building around us, which didn't help. So let's move on to the next round. 5 out of 5. I'm enjoying the challenge here, I really am. Okay, so Bartholomew Close in EC1, so we're still bang in the centre, and in fact what we can see here behind us are the very iconic towers of the Barbican, so that really helps. They're slightly northeast of us. The Barbican, for those that don't know, is an absolutely ginormous apartment complex in the city of London. It's sort of a very concrete, what's the word I'm looking for? Very imposing. And has got these 3 famous towers around it, but it's also, the majority of the building is just a 6 or 7 story high sort of structure, but it's absolutely ginormous. Brutalist is the word I was looking for. So we're in the same neck of the woods now. Bartholomew Close, we're looking northeast to it, so we're going to be southwest of the Barbican in some direction over here. We need to start nailing things down though, and we're not there yet. What we can see is this churchyard, which is kind of unique, and not much else, although, and if I'm honest, I don't recognise the church either. What do we have here? Francis Polden. That's just an old sign, I don't think particularly useful. So I'm going to go by this church. So I'm looking for churches southwest of the Barbican. Quite hard to tell how far as well. But what do we have? St Mary Le Beau, is that it? Is that it? Is that the church there that we can see in the distance? It's, what direction is it of us? It's dead west of us, so we are to the east of it. I don't think so. I don't think that's it, and with a second left we've not nailed it. No, we were not far away. Much closer to the Barbican than I thought, and the church we were looking at was that of St Bartholomew the Great. So look at that, this is fantastic. And actually, I mean, what I love about this is, in order to get to work most days, I actually cycle down this lane here, and didn't even know that this existed. So you learn something new every day playing this game. That's one of the reasons I really enjoy it. The towers of the Barbican Centre are here, here, and here. So they're 3 in a row, and we were looking, possibly at the furthest away one, but that was kind of confusing and not obvious. But yes, very clear here that we were in this area, and this was the courtyard that we were looking across. So a very beautiful looking church, at least from the outside. Maybe some place to go and explore sometime. Alright, well, let's view the summary. A challenging round. The 2-minute no moving limit was a great challenge, I think. And you could see we got close. Certainly the first guess was the easiest. The second and the third okay, and then the last 2 not so much. Getting a bit late here, so perhaps that's why. But in terms of enjoyment, I really enjoyed that, because the 2-minute no moving challenge I think is the way to do London. For me, just being from here, it's I do recognise places, so to have A, the time limit, and B, the no moving restriction really helps keep it exciting. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for playing with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.